Do you know how many times your heart beats every day? In September of 2016, in an article called About Arrhythmia, the American Heart Association stated that the average heart beats 100,000 times every day. Today I'll be explaining the process of how each of those heartbeats is performed. I took classes in high school covering this topic, and I've researched it thoroughly before this presentation. Today I'll be covering the basic anatomy, and then I will explain the functions of each of the parts I talk about. So, the heart is made up of 4 chambers, along with 4 valves. The important thing to remember about these chambers is that they are named from the patient's perspective. So for example, if we're looking at the atrium on what we think is the right side, on the patient that would be the left. So it would be the left atrium. I have a picture from the Cardio Research Web Project to help you visualize that. So here you can see what I'm talking about. So what it looks like to you as your left is actually called the right atrium. So you look at it as if it was my heart, if I was the patient. So let's talk about the anatomy here. We have the 4 chambers: right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, and there's also the 4 valves. One here, 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 and here. And you can also see at the bottom all of the muscle along with the heart. So now we'll discuss the anatomy. So the right atrium, its job is to fill with unoxygenated blood and then move through a valve into the right ventricle. In December of 2018, in an article called Heart Valves, Cleveland Clinic stated that the job of the heart valve is to prevent backflow of blood and control the direction. So you don't want blood to move through and some blood to come back, or it'll disrupt the heartbeat. So once the unoxygenated blood has entered the right ventricle, you can see all of the muscle here. This is because the ventricles are the strongest chambers of the heart. They have to push the blood the farthest. The right ventricle then pushes the unoxygenated blood through another valve to the lungs, where it's then oxygenated. The oxygenated blood comes through to the left atrium, moves through another valve to the left ventricle. Notice that the left ventricle has even more muscle than the right ventricle. It's because the left ventricle is the strongest chamber because it has to push the blood the farthest. The left ventricle contracts, the muscle contracts and it pumps, pushes it through another valve, the aortic valve, and the oxygenated blood moves out of the aortic artery. You can see all the different arteries here because the blood, moves all throughout your body, all different parts of your body. So the hardest thing to visualize in a heartbeat is that the right side and the left side are doing their different jobs at the same exact time. So when the right ventricle contracts to push deoxygenated blood to the lungs, the left ventricle is also contracting to push oxygenated blood to the body. So I have a video from Nationwide Children's to help visualize that. Here you can see that both the right and left ventricles are contracting at the same time, while the right is pushing the unoxygenated blood and the left is pushing the oxygenated blood. So I hope that helps you get a better understanding of it, because it is kind of hard to visualize without seeing it. So, in summary, I have discussed the basic anatomy of the heart, the basic physiology, how that works, and I hope you now have a better understanding of how each and every one of those 100,000 heartbeats is performed. Thank you.